key features of Sonarqube, understand the architecture, and do the installation. Okay. Okay, so what is Sonarqube? Sonarqube, like every other tool that we've looked at, is an open source platform designed to measure and analyze code quality in software development projects. That's what it is. It's just to analyze code qualities in software development projects. So if they ask you, have you ever done any quality test on your application, or tell me a time that you have to analyze your application while trying to build it, how did you do it, and what tool did you use, right? The first tool that should come to your mind is Sonarqube, because Sonarqube is what you use to do static tests, right? So Sonarqube should be your answer. It provides a comprehensive set of tools and features that help developers, teams, and organizations ensure the reliability, maintainability, and security of their code base. Sonarqube is widely used across industries and is considered a crucial component in the software development lifecycle. Now, so we also have some key highlights, the importance of key aspect that highlights the importance of Sonarqube, right? So these are the key highlights. Then we'll get into some components. Code quality assessment. So what does that mean? So Sonarqube enables developers to assess the quality of their code through static code analysis, right? Now there's dynamic code analysis and there's static code analysis. Sonarqube does static code analysis, right? Dynamic code analysis or dynamic analysis is done probably after your application has been deployed. Then you can do dynamic analysis. There are other tools, security tools that you use to do that. Mostly people that are in DevSecOps. DevSecOps is another branch in IT. That's DevOps and security. If you're learning that, you're going to learn about dynamic tools that are used as well. But Sonarqube does static code analysis. It's not a dynamic code analysis. So if they ask you that, right, you should note that it's a static code analysis, not dynamic. So it analyzes the code for a wide range of issues. Hello? Yeah, so it analyzes the code for a wide range of issues. I thought someone had a question. Okay, all right. If you have a question, you can interrupt me, or you can just raise your hand and I will recognize you. I'm looking at Zoom. In case you raise your hand, I'll stop, or you can just interrupt me. That's fine too. So it analyzes the code for a wide range of issues, including code smell, right? I think I've had definitions of all this: code smell, bugs, vulnerabilities, and security hotspots. So I have definition of all that. I will define them to you. I have them in this slide. So what they actually mean. But for now, just know that it analyzes these things: code smell, bugs, vulnerabilities, and security hotspots. So by identifying these issues early in the development process, Sonarqube helps to maintain clean and maintainable code. Okay, so now you're shifting security to the left. Another thing is, if they ask you any security question in an interview, you tell them that maybe one of the things that introduced the organization is the ability to shift security to the left. What does that mean, right? It used to be that after the application has been deployed, then you can now check for bugs, checks for vulnerabilities, checks for issues, right? You can tell them that one of the things that you introduced is the ability to move security to the left, so that while the applications are being through the development process, right, through the build, you also introduce Sonarqube so they can do a static analysis on the code to identify issues like code smells, bugs, vulnerabilities, and also look at security hotspots, right? So that means moving security to the left, not to the right. The right, it used to be after all the fact, then you can check for security issues, okay? All right, technical debt, right? Another importance of Sonarqube is technical debt. And what does technical debt means, right? Technical debt refers to the accumulated cost of future work required to fix and improve code that is not up to quality standard, right? Like I just told you, they used to do security checks, analysis after the application is built. Now with analysis being moved to the left, you're able to control that technical debt. So the cost of going back to fix the boxes, going back to look at security vulnerabilities, going back to do all that is being taken care of if you use Sonarqube. So Sonarqube provides insights into the technical debt in a code base, allowing teams to prioritize and address the most critical issues. So by managing technical debt, teams can reduce maintenance effort, enhance productivity, and avoid potential pitfalls in the long run. So you take care of all this so that in the future you don't have to worry about them. So that's what Sonarqube does. Some more security vulnerability detection, like I rightly said. Security is a critical aspect of software development, right? You need to protect the application from middleman attack, right? From any threats, right? So Sonarqube incorporates security-focused rules and plugins to identify security vulnerabilities and potential weaknesses in the code, right? So when developers develop their codes, there are some potential weaknesses that if an attacker attack that code, it could look at the weaknesses, and with the weaknesses, it can implant something. They call it SQL injection. It can inject something into your code base, and with that injection, it can take over your application, right? Or it can run down your application. So Sonarqube helps check that potential weaknesses in the code base. By flagging security issues early on, Sonarqube helps improve the overall security posture of applications and mitigate the risk of potential security breaches. Right? Continuous code inspection. So Sonarqube integrates seamlessly into CI/CD pipeline. So like we're looking at the CI/CD pipeline, we start doing Jenkins, we're going to incorporate Sonarqube is part of the pipeline, allowing developers to perform continuous code inspection. So the inspection goes on anytime you have the code in GitHub. Anytime you do a commit, the entire pipeline would start working automatically. And that includes the inspection, right? Every commit, right? Sonarqube would check for vulnerabilities, for bugs, and so on and so forth. So by automating code quality checks and integrating them into the development workflow, Sonarqube ensures that code issues are identified and addressed in a timely manner. This promotes a culture of continuous improvement and helps teams deliver high quality code consistently. Okay. So another one is code review facilitations. Sonarqube provides features that facilitate effective code reviews and collaboration among teams, right? It allows reviewers to comment on specific code issues, track their resolution, and maintain a history of code reviews. This promotes knowledge sharing, code consistency, and best practice within the development team. So Sonarqube has another tool they call Sonarqube Links, right? Sonarqube Links is, some of them are incorporated into the IDE, like VS Code that is used for development. So it's a plugin, you can add it. So while you're writing codes, Sonarqube can look at your code and help you with the review, and you can actually share the review with other people that you are sharing, because you can use IDE. Both of you, many people can develop codes at the same time. So while you're collaborating, trying to develop the code, you can use Sonarqube Links, and it would help you tell you the issues in your code. Sonarqube Links will tell you what the problem is, and track also when you resolve the issue, it keeps tracks of the resolution. Okay, let's move forward. Trend analysis and reporting. So Sonarqube offers comprehensive reporting analysis capabilities. So it has a dashboard that you can have visualization, metrics, trends that allow teams to monitor code quality over time. This input help identify patterns, track improvement efforts, and make data-driven decisions to enhance code quality and development practices. It also has extensibility. I told you about plugins. What does plugin do? Plugin is used to extend the functionalities of a tool. So extensibility and customization. Sonarqube offers a range of plugins and extensions that can be tailored to meet specific project requirements. It supports a wide range of programming languages, a lot of programming languages. I think we'll see when we stand up Sonarqube, you'll see some of those programming languages, frameworks and analysis rules allowing teams to customize the analysis process and adapt to it to their specific needs. Okay, so those are the tutorial on Sonarqube. We still have some key features of Sonarqube that I want to discuss with you guys. Just like the importance, right? The key features also incorporate some of those things that we have already discussed. One of them is code quality analysis, like I told you previously. Sonarqube performs static code analysis to identify various code issues, including code smell, bugs, vulnerability. It support a wide range of programming languages. It can be integrated with CI/CD pipeline, right, seamlessly, like Jenkins, GitLab, Azure, DevOps. It can be configured automatically to analyze code during build process. It also has comprehensive code metrics and dashboard. I told you about the dashboard again. So it can generate detailed code quality, including complexity, duplications, code coverage, maintainability, and so on and so forth. You can customize the quality gate, right? So quality gates in Sonarqube defines the criteria and also have a threshold that code must meet to be able to consider for acceptable quality. So you can customize this quality gate and put a threshold. So anything, if it hits that threshold, is going to flag. I mean, if you create a threshold, for example, code smell, percentage of code smell that it has to hit, right? If it doesn't hit that percentage, it flags it as not passing. So either your pipeline is going to break, or it's going to flag that there's something wrong in your codes. So security vulnerability detection. Sonarqube includes built-in security focused rules and plugins to identify the security vulnerabilities in codes. So we'll talk about this. So this helps proactive identification and mitigation of security risks. Okay, and it reduces potential breaches. Code review and collaboration, we've talked about that. Extensible plugins ecosystem. So those are some of the key features, just like what we have in the overview. So let's look at some of the components of Sonarqube. So it makes us understand Sonarqube a little bit more. So this is the programming language. It supports a whole bunch of programming languages. Now it has a scanner, right? Code analysis through Sonarqube scanner. So it does use a scanner here, and it has a compute engine. It has a search server. It has some plugins, web server, and also has plugins. Then it has a database, right? It has a database. Let's dive into those components one by one. So it consists of several components that work together to provide a comprehensive code quality analysis reporting. And these are the key components. Sonarqube server, right? What does it do? So the Sonarqube server is the central component of the architecture. It manages the overall system and provides a web interface for interacting with Sonarqube. The server handles user authentication, right? Authentication means you want to go in, what's your username and password, and it authorize you access to that server. So authorization and the storage of configuration settings, analysis and the result, and a historical data as well. So that's Sonarqube server, right? It serves as a central component of the it manages overall system, right? These are some of the features: user authentication, authorization, storage of configuration settings, analysis, result, and so on and so forth. Now, we also have the database. So the Sonarqube server relies on relational database to store project configuration, metrics, and analysis results. Now, there's relational database, there's non-relational database, right? Probably, I'll tell you the difference between relational database and non-relational database. I'll discuss that later on. So it can be connected to databases like PostgreSQL, MySQL, or Oracle. These are all relational databases, right? The database is essential for storing and retrieving data. So Sonarqube database, Sonarqube server relies on a relational database to store project configuration metrics and analysis, right? And these databases are example of PostgreSQL, MySQL, or Oracle, right? The database is essential for storing and retrieving data required for code analysis and reporting. Sonarqube scanner. This Sonarqube scanner is a command line tool used to analyze code and send the analysis result to the Sonarqube server. It's responsible for scanning the source code, executing the rule set, collecting metrics, and generating reports. So that's one of the components. As a matter of fact, is the command line that we use. That's more or less like the Sonarqube scanner. Yeah? All right. More components and analyzers. Analyzers are language-specific components that perform the actual code analysis. So the analyzers are the things that does the analysis. If you look at, do we have an analyzer here? It's not in this diagram. I think I have another diagram that has, yes, Sonarqube analyzer. So this is what it checks tiles, Squid, PMD, Findbox, and Clover. It does the analysis right here, right? So this is a Sonarqube scanner, right? And you can incorporate this Sonarqube scanner with Maven. These are the build tools. So inside these build tools, we introduce in pub.html in Maven, we're going to introduce the scanner inside by just putting in, we're going to put, I'll show you when we do the installation and incorporating Maven with Sonarqube, right? I'll show you how to do that. So this is where this scanner takes place. But let's get back to components. So that's an analyzer. Then rule engine. The rule engine is a core component of Sonarqube that defines the rules and quality standards used in code analysis. So it consists of a set of predefined rules that cover best practices, coding conventions, and potential pitfalls, right? The rule engine, so you set the rule has to be there, right? Mostly, Sonarqube has an inbuilt rules that comes with the software, right? But you can customize it. You can, because they use some standard like OWASP top 10, OWASP top 10 is a body. OWASP is a body that regulates security in applications, and they have top 10 rules that you must meet, right? So they use that principle of OWASP top 10 to write the rules. You can override the rules, or you can adjust the severity of the rules to critical, less critical, and so on and so forth, right? So the rule engine is actually where the rules are being set. Then you have plugins. Plugins, like I said, plugins extends the functionalities, extends the functionalities of an application. Then you also have the dashboard, right? Dashboard is like this, right? So you can see the bugs, the vulnerabilities, the code smell, the duplications, and so on and so forth. You have code smell here, have vulnerabilities, duplicate blocks. So this is like a dashboard, right? So it also has a dashboard, web-based interface dashboard that reports to visualize codes, quality metrics, analysis results, and trends. The dashboard presents an overview of the overall code health, technical data, and quality gate studies. Reports can be generated for specific projects, enabling detailed analysis and tracking of code quality over time. Right. Again, this is what the dashboard looks like, right? Some of them do not look like this. Some look like this. I think I have, let me see if I can show you. All right. So this is this is actually the Sonarqube that I spin up, right? So this is, you can see the project. This is where you start the project. It has the quality gate, reliability, security reviews, and all this will be lighted up once you attach your project. Then this is the issues, right? If you have any issues, the issues will come up here. Right. Give me a second. All right. And you have quality gate that I just told you about. This is the quality gate. This is the gate C. Coverage, right? You can define all this, put these values as default values, and you can also change this, and it comes as a built-in. You can create your own. Like, for example, I created my quality gate right here. Right, this is customized, right? And I can adjust these values, right? I can adjust these values and customize it to what the organization can agree that the coverage that you want to cover is maybe 80%. Anything less than 80%, it's a failure. So this threshold has to be made for your Sonarqube to approve of the code to pass, right? So this is the interface that will come to. Okay, let me see what else we have. Okay, I told you about the key definitions, right? Some of the things that I'd like you to know. We'll talk about code smells, right? Bugs, vulnerabilities, security hotspot, right? I specifically wanted to define this so you know what they are. So code smell. Code smell refers to specific patterns or structures in the source code that indicates potential design or implementation issues. Again, they are not bugs or errors. Right? They are not bugs, they are not errors in the traditional sense of it, but rather signs of poor code quality that may lead to maintenance challenges and hinder readability. Right? So they are not bugs. They are weaknesses in your code, right, that could lead to issues or challenges in the future. So examples of code smell include long methods, excessive use of parameters, duplicated code, and overly complex logic. Since you're not developers, don't worry about it. I'll not spend time to explain that. You don't really need to know it. Identifying and addressing code smells through refactoring improves code maintainability. And again, when you plug this in and the issues flag, all you need to do is to inform the developers and they will take care of it. It's not your responsibility to fix code smells. Okay? Bugs. Bugs are defects or errors in the code that cause the software to behave unexpectedly or not as intended. Again, when you have a program, when you write a code and the code runs, bugs might not stop your codes from running, right? It might run exactly, you write a code and it runs exactly, but that doesn't mean, right, your code you're writing has met the desired requirements, right? It could be because you are integrating a lot of modules, writing them in modules, right? Modularities, right? When you integrate the modules, it doesn't function exactly how you expect it, right? So when that happens, it becomes a bug, right? I wanted the color, the background of my applications to be red, right? But when I'm integrating it with another application, it turns out to be pink. And after you've deployed your application, you notice that it's pink. That's a bug, right? So bugs are defects or errors in the code that cause the software to behave unexpectedly or not as intended. Bugs can result from logic errors, syntax mistakes, incorrect data handling, or unexpected interactions between different parts of the code. So finding and fixing bugs is critical or crucial for ensuring the code functionalities. Okay. Another definition of vulnerabilities. Vulnerabilities are weaknesses in the code that may be exploited by attackers to compromise the security of the software. So common vulnerabilities include SQL injection. I talked about SQL injection, where they can inject something to your code and it weakens your code and someone can attack your code. Cross-site scripting. Cross-site scripting is they put some gibberish, right? Something looks like gibberish, but inside the gibberish, right, they put something that would harm your code, right? Remote code execution, access control issues, and so on and so on. So those are all vulnerabilities. If they ask you about vulnerabilities in any time, I don't think they will ever ask you about it, but you can just note some of the examples. Of two most common vulnerabilities are SQL injections and cross-site scripting. Okay, you may want to just note that so you can use it in the interviews when you speak about them. They think you know what you're talking about. Yeah. Now, security hotspot, just the definition of it. Security hotspots are specific areas of code base that have higher likelihood of containing security vulnerabilities. There are some of the parts of your areas of your code base that may be more vulnerable or likelihood to be vulnerable than other places. So unlike static code analysis, which scans the entire code base for potential security issues, security hotspots focuses on prioritizing critical areas for manual review. This helps developers and security teams to concentrate their effort on the most critical parts of the code to identify and address security issues. So these are some of the definitions that I needed you to know about this because they may come in your interviews, right? So I took time to define this so you can understand it. Okay, now I need you guys to do something for me. I'm going to pause the recording. I need to drop my son out of school. I'm giving you a homework. No one should drop out. I need you to do an installation of Sonarqube. You do it by yourself. So you're going to create an instance, and the instance you install Sonarqube. Let me send the Sonarqube. I have it on GitHub. Step-by-step approach and of how you're going to install it. Right. Without me helping you out, I want you to install this, and I want to see if you're able to get it right. So let me send that through Telegram. Okay. So the assignment is spin a, let me see what server, Red Hat or Ubuntu, which one? Red Hat server. That's this Red Hat server. Spin a Red Hat instance and install Sonarqube using the above step-by-step guide. Okay, so I have step-by-step guide here. And I think we should do this more, not me just every time doing the installation. I should let you have a hands-on on this and see if you're able to do that. Now, once you're able to do this, right, I want you to also, when you spin it up and do the installation, after the installation, use the IP address and port number, right, to bring up Sonarqube dashboard. IP address. I was scrolling up address, got that wrong. Sonarqube dashboard. Okay. IP address. Okay. All right. I would pause recording right now and I'll be right back. When we come back, we'll see who is able to get this right. And also I have, let me give you, in case that doesn't work, let me give you the entire, I have a whole lot of Sonarqube installation here. So let me put this also there. You can choose anyone that you want to use that's easier for you, okay? I'll pause the recording right now and I'll get back with you when I return. Okay, then now that I'm done with that, okay, then I install my Java 17, right? My JDK. Okay. Java is installing right now. After Java is installed, then I would install my Sonarqube. Yeah, you notice I have a bunch of version here that I've tried. That 9.1, 9.9.3, but this is the one that I want to use. Right. I want to install Sonarqube 9, not Sonarqube 10. So this is the latest version for Sonarqube 9. So this is the one that I want to use. Okay, this is not done. Yes. The Java installation takes a little bit of time. It's creating a sim link. Okay. So I'm going to install Sonarqube 9.9. Yeah. Once that is done, let's see what else. Right. We can grant Sonarqube permission, right, by using this permission 775. Okay. Make Sonarqube the owner so we can the entire directory to own both the group and the user and the group name, right, recursively, right. So the owner of the directory is Sonarqube. Oh, can I access Sonarqube? Let's see. There's a problem there. Let's go back and take a look at that. So, so once this is done, let me correct this so you guys don't run into this problem. Let me fix it. Okay. So here, what is the issue? So after you've downloaded Sonarqube, right? Right here, so you have sudo move. You have installed you've installed Sonarqube. So you've installed this file. Oh, that's not the one that we installed. We've installed this file. Copy it here. I want to put that command. I want to put that command here. Okay, I want to move this and move this to a directory called opt/Sonarqube. I want to call it this name. Okay, there is some first here. Okay, so once I move it, so I'm calling it now this, then I can change the ownership of this. So let me recommit this. Okay. So this is exactly what I'm doing here. Before I run this other command. Okay, so that's done. Since that is done, let me see if I can run my other two commands. This thing's on my way. Okay, let me come back here. So these are the two other commands that I want to run. It worked. Okay, now it's running, so we're good. Okay, now go back to the next thing is to start my Sonarqube, right? So this, right, I can show you how to do this manually, right? If you do an ls now, so I have that file, that directory, Sonarqube is installed. So if I cd into Sonarqube now, right? If I ls Sonarqube, if I go to my bin directory now, so cd into my bin directory, right? You see this file right here, Linux x86-69-64. That's my executable file. So if I cd into this file, right? If I ls, it will give me this my bin, that's my executable file right there. So I can do sonar.sh, right? And I can start Sonarqube from here. Okay, so my Sonarqube has started, right? So that's this whole line right here. What I just did right there is just going through, this is the whole line right here that helps me to start Sonarqube. And I can also check the status of Sonarqube. Now I can check if my Sonarqube is running or it's not running, right? So I can SH into Sonar, right, status, right? It shows that my Sonarqube is running, okay? So Sonarqube is running. It's not giving me the error that we had the other time, okay? So that's the installation of Sonarqube. And now for you to be able to get Sonarqube running, right, you can actually, since I have it running already, you can come back here to the IP address. Let me see, actually see if I'm going to have it port 90. Get the IP address here, and you have to open the port. Sonarqube runs on port 9000. So you can open the port 9000 at a row, port 9000. And save this so I can run. It's actually running, yeah. So it's running. So admin, right? So my Sonarqube is running. So the old password is admin. I can change this to a new password, admin 1234, and this is admin 1234. All right. So my Sonarqube is up and running. Okay. All right. So any question?
Yes, Doctor.
Yeah, go ahead.
So meaning we did not have any port binding there, right?
No, we did not have any port binding for some reason. So I have these two of them running simultaneously.